that's the path I chose. I started out like burglarizing houses, breaking in cars.
When an ex-con gets released from prison, what they do in the first 90 days is critical. If they fail to get their affairs in order and find gainful employment, then 9 times out of 10, they will find themselves in a cell once again.
I don't mind working hard. I don't mind getting up early, staying late, getting my hands dirty.
These are their success stories.
Yeah, this actually was my first time in prison. I did like 24 hours in a local precinct before, but yeah, it's my first time. Definitely my last too. What happened? Well, I was in the streets like most of my late teen, early adult life. And on the wrong side of the law, I held jobs down here and there, but I was just chasing the fast money. So I was into robberies and stuff, not working people, but like I was justified as saying I just robbed bad people, like drug dealers, or we ain't want to mess with no working people, no stores, nothing like that. So that's how I justified my actions every day. That's how I went to sleep at night, saying I wasn't trying to like mess with no honest, hardworking people or nothing. So like that's the path I chose. I started out like burglarizing houses, breaking in cars, graduated to robbing anybody. Then when I had, I guess, quote unquote morals, it was just, I'm gonna just rob drug dealers. I'm gonna try and rob bad people. So I ended up going out of town. I was hustling out there a little bit, selling drugs a little bit. All the while, I'm looking for the next drug dealer to rob. Like, to just get as much money as I can, however I can, because I was always holding the job down, always working, but it wasn't never enough money. So I always wanted to take somebody else's stuff. And I'm fortunate to be here today, actually, because somebody will blow your head off trying to take something that they worked hard for, whether they was working or hustling, whatever. So I'm just fortunate and glad to be here, man, because that's risky. That's so risky and so stupid, but that's what happened. I went to rob this drug dealer, and I was in his bedroom, and he was moving around, looked like he was reaching for a gun. So I panicked, and I shot him several times in his legs, and I was charged with attempted murder. And so that's how I landed in prison. I got caught about 2 weeks later. Somebody told on me. I ain't mad at them because I ain't had no business doing what I did anyway. So that's what happened. So altogether, I did about 11 years and 3 months. My first time in prison, man. They was talking 20 to 40 years, and I ended up getting a lawyer just because the public defender wasn't trying to defend me, it seems. So yeah, I did 11 years and 3 months straight. It wasn't easy, man. I got older. I watched my children grow up from behind the wall, watched my mom and other people. They wasn't getting no younger, so it wasn't an easy time, but you do the crime, you gotta do the time. And it ain't just you that do it, man. Your loved ones do it with you. So we all did 11 years and 3 months. I've been out since February of 2022, February 12th. So next month will be a year. So I guess what, 11 months I've been out for. 11 months. It seemed longer than that in a way. But then again, that might be like a permanent change that happened, is where like I'm just so grateful for everything now. So I don't know if that's a temporary thing or what. So that's why it still seems new to me. Like as far as 11, like being out for 11 months, it still feel new, but it feel like I've been out for a couple years just from the things I was able to accomplish. And that's my mindset, I guess. But at the same time, it's like everything is in 4K. Like I appreciate life now, man. I'll try not to take nothing for granted. Yeah, I am on parole till 2033. Hopefully I'll be able to get off early by putting in a commutation to have your sentence reduced, or legislation might come through, but the commutation process will take about a year and a half. They're trying to do something to where it's all digital, and it'll take about a year. So I could potentially be off parole in about a year and a half. So that's good. But either way, it mattered to me, but it don't in a way because I'm not doing nothing to go back, and my agents don't really be on me like that. Like, they see I'm working, I'm out the way, staying focused, so they don't give me a hard time with nothing, man. A hard day out here is better than the easiest day in there, so I ain't got no complaints about it, man. Y'all want to supervise me? Go ahead. Watch me on TV because I ain't doing nothing. I think I'm going to succeed because for me, I know what success look like. It's not hurting nobody else. It's not committing crimes. It's rebuilding the relationships I damaged. And failure could happen, but giving up isn't an option. So the only way somebody fail to succeed is when they give up. Because if you fail at something, that's not really not succeeding to me. That's a learning experience. So I ain't never given up at life. So I got a second chance on this side of the wall. I got a second chance at freedom. So I'm definitely going to succeed. I don't mind working hard. I don't mind getting up early, staying late, getting my hands dirty. So I know I'm going to succeed. It's not even a question. I hope that answers your question of, I don't know. Going back is not an option. Not succeeding is not an option. Even if I'm working a minimum wage job, that's still succeeding to me because I was making 19 cents an hour in there. So I'm not losing. I'm winning. And I'm going to keep winning. Man, I miss just being able to adjust your own water temperature, like in the showers, because in there you push a button and whatever come out, that's what you get. Hot water, cold water, whatever it was. So that's funny, but that's one of the things I miss the most, just adjusting my own shower temperature, man. And just being able to go outside and take a walk. Like I used to love like being out in nature, hiking, doing photography and stuff, or just walking the city, just walking downtown, just walking, man. So I miss that like so much. And I definitely miss my loved ones, my children and stuff. I'm just thinking about just strictly me. Like those are the things that I took for granted. Like you can control your own water temperature now. And there you can't. So, and I could just walk wherever I want, whenever I want, man. That's freedom. The two worst things about being incarcerated, I miss my family, man. I miss my kids, miss my mom, and all the good news you want to give them when you calling them, you really don't know because they'll ask you, how much longer you got? How long, when you getting out? When you getting out? All my kids, Dad, when you getting out? All three of them. My mom, did you hear anything? When you getting out? And like, this is from the beginning of my time all the way up to the end. So that was like super hard for me, man. Just not having no concrete good news to share with them, not being able to just hug them when I want, talk to them when I want, see them when I want. And even though they would come see me, it was such a burden on them just to make the trip and stuff. So like we'll have a great time there, but it's just, man, the burden I put on my family was like one of the worst things. And the other worst thing for me, just living in a bathroom in a 6x8 box with another stranger, another man, like it was so close quarters. So you hear them snoring and making all these body sounds. It's just a lot, man. Like it could drive you crazy. So I was sleep with earbuds on with like a thunderstorm or something playing that night because I don't want to hear you snoring, farting, using the bathroom. I don't even want to hear you breathing. Like stuff, after a while, it annoy you, man. You in a little tiny rectangular box with another stranger, a strange man. So those are like my two worst things, man. I dreamt about being outside, being free, back to my old life, not the criminal life, but back to living life, working, paying bills, seeing my family, just walking the streets, man. Like that was most of my dreams. I was always free out here, but I would always be telling people I know, hey man, I'll see you next week and I got to get back. I got to go back to jail. I got to go sleep there, but I'll see y'all next weekend. So it was weird. Like my dreams was always about being out here living life, man. I mean, you seen tons of fights and you see stabbings and all of that. The craziest thing I saw though, I was coming from work. I was working in a shoe shop. This was at right after Graterford closed down. We in SCI Phoenix in the side yard. That's just like a little outdoor concrete area, rec area, but it was a nursing staff, a lady from the nursing staff sitting at the tables out there. Dudes coming fresh out the shoe shop. She got nail clippers and she's cutting these guys' toenails, not sanitizing the nail clippers after each person or nothing. And they lining up, taking their boots off, sitting down, getting their toenails clipped by this lady, man. That was the strangest, craziest, most disgusting thing I ever saw in prison. Like I had to call home and tell people like, yo, this lady in the yard cutting these dudes' toenails. And they not sanitizing nothing. They just, oh man. I can't even, I'm trying to put it into words how bad it was. That was the craziest thing. Like you would never ever imagine. Then you got the older guys coming back like, yeah, I had my feet right on her boob. She like it. Like that's just sick all the way around, man. That was crazy. That was the craziest thing I ever saw in prison. And that was like 2 days in a row. So you say, I'm aware of my stature. I'll tell you when I was scared. We went to SCI Pittsburgh, what they call Western. We was on quarantine. This was after I got sentenced and stuff out the county. I went upstate. I'm on quarantine for a couple weeks or a week. I don't know how many days, but when they let us off quarantine and we had to go to our housing unit, we had to walk through the rec yards while the whole population was out. So we got these white suits on because we coming off of quarantine. All you see is a sea of men with the state brown uniforms on, all out in the yards, and we got to walk through the middle of them. We up at the gate, we waiting for the gate to open, and I was scared. I said to myself, boy, what did you get yourself into? And nothing happened, but that scared me, just seeing all those prisoners, man, all those men, worst of the worst, all crammed together, and I'm about to walk through the middle fresh. And I was in the county for 2 years, so by that time I already had a different mindset as far as my stance on violence and all kind of stuff. So I'm like, because I wasn't seeing it like, all right, let's go, whatever happened happened. I'm looking at it like, man, I hope nothing happened. So yeah, that scared me. But other than that, I ain't had no problems in there, nothing. I never got in a fight in there. I had one incident where a guy threatened to stab me over a razor that he misplaced in his laundry bag because I was a laundry worker, but that turned out to be nothing. Somebody else got him a razor. But yeah, I guess because of my size, they knew that it wouldn't be a fun time whether they win or whether they lose. So I ain't really had no problems in there. And I wasn't a rude guy, a mean guy. I was just me. I was chill. Like I did me. I wasn't trying to prove nothing to nobody. We all in here for something. I ain't got nothing to prove. I'm just trying to get home and get to my family. So I ain't had no problems in there, man. I respected people. People respected me. I had a great upbringing, man. My dad wasn't around much, but I knew him. He would pop in my life here and there. Then once I turned like 17, like we had a constant relationship, but I had a great grandfather, great uncle, great mother, great aunts, great cousins, man. Like it was a great household, a great family. And I'm the only one from my family that went to prison, that went to jail, that got in trouble. So that'll tell you I was making the dumb choices. Everybody else was doing the right thing, but the family was great. Like it was great. Success was on my mind from the beginning. I got in there, went to the county jail. Like a couple days in, I was talking to a guy next to me. We were in quarantine in the county, and I just was listening to myself talk. And I said, it disgusted me. I said, man, like just saying to myself, I said, I don't want this to be me. I got to make a change. So that was my first couple of days in prison. I knew who I was, I didn't like. So from that point on, I started looking inward at all of my flaws and my faults and working on changing them through the Bible, through just talking to other people, being accountable. And so that was like what set me up to become successful in prison and out. And so then I started focusing on my skills or lack thereof. I'm seeing what I could add to my skill set, what I could learn in prison, what I could use to benefit me once I got out. And so I took a lot of construction courses, I guess. I did a carpentry course. I did warehouse stuff. So I learned a lot in there just to set me up to be viable in the working world. I also read a lot of books. I read books on video editing. I read books on photography. I was already doing photography, but in there, I got into video editing. I was just learning as much as I can, reading as much as I can. I was even studying like reality shows and studying people and seeing how people interact with other people. Like I was just a student of life all over again, man. Because I said I'm gonna need any and every skill and any and every tool that I could use once I get out. So I just read a lot. I studied a lot, took a lot of classes, a lot of programs, even like violence prevention stuff, like just everything. So I could just all around the board be successful just in dealing with people and dealing with the working world, dealing with life, dealing with myself when I'm alone. So I just studied, man. I learned from everybody I could. And one of my friends in there always said, everybody's a teacher. They're going to either teach you what to do or what not to do. So, and I'm still a student. Like I'm studying, I'm learning every day, man. And YouTube is a huge blessing because you can learn a lot on there just to improve your skill set. But yeah, I read a lot in there. I did everything I could. At first, I was worried about where was I going to live? Was I going to be able to get my youngest daughter to live with me right away? How would she feel? Because her mom passed away while I was incarcerated. So I'm the last parent she has. So I was just worried about, will I be able to get a place to provide for her right away? Will I be able to get a car? How I'm going to get around? And then you would watch the news and you would see all the shooting, all the carjacking, just all kind of crazy stuff going on. So I was actually worrying about, like, is somebody going to kill me out here? Like, am I going to get robbed and shot? Like, because it seemed, I would say, like, to the guys in there, like, it reminded me of Death Wish with Charles Bronson. Like, that's how lawless the city appeared on the news. We watching the nightly news every evening, and every evening it's just chaos and madness on there. I'm like, man, I hate that city. I don't want to go back there. So that was like my biggest fear, just learning how to navigate the city and stay safe. But once you get out here, it's like you just get a feel for the areas, you want to feel for the people, and it's not scary at all, man. It's just like, all right, I'm back. You got to stay on point. You got to stay aware, but it ain't like you got to go around scared enough. And so that was good. The whole parole process was like stressful. If I could sum it up in one word, stressful. Because you hopeful, you thinking that you did everything you had to do. You thinking, all right, I don't have any infractions. You thinking all kind of stuff, man. You praying like you never prayed before. And you just trying to stay optimistic through it all. But you hear so many horror stories about how parole went bad, how it goes bad. And so it was rough, man. You had some sleepless nights, especially the closer you got. Then you got to go through so many different interviews, and your level got to keep dropping. And like, I was to the point in prison where I was actually working outside because my level was low, and I was getting close to the time to see parole, what they call your minimum release date. It's not guaranteed at all. So it's just a date that you're hoping that you could be considered to be released on. So it was stressful, man. And you just looking for signs from anywhere, from the administration, or if like a couple guards that you never saw before, if they know your name or something, you're like, well, I wonder if they talking about me, about parole. Or then you in an interview. Well, you got a pre-parole interview with an agent, and she just like prepping you for the real thing. So then all your friends that's around that time, like that's up for parole with you, if you got any friends that was up for parole. I had a lot of them. And so We talking about the process. We asking each other questions. We trying to rehearse what we're going to say, but not really a rehearsal, but just the points we want to get out, like to show that we actually changed and stuff. And all of that, man, it was good just to have that brotherhood, that camaraderie, but you in there by yourself, man. You don't know how it's going to go because they could deny you for anything. It's just a consideration. So it went well. Obviously, I'm out here, but even at the interview, I had a great interview, I thought, because the guy was talking about when I'm out, make sure I'm doing this and doing that, and he better not see me in front of him no more. I'm gonna do all the time that I had to do originally, plus 1,000 more years, and I better not smell like a gun or look like a gun or even be around a gun. And it was a lot. And so I thought the interview went well, but then you still got doubts, like, is it really my turn to get out? Because you see so many brothers before you leave. And when it's your turn, man, you still got them doubts and fears like, but what if they say no? Because they can, for no reason. They could just say lack of motivation to succeed, whatever that means. Showing a lack of remorse. I don't know what remorse looks like, but whatever they feel, they can do. Like, they got all the power over you at that point. So you waiting, you hoping. It was stressful, man. But when I went there to pick up what they call a green sheet, that's a paper that tells you if you're going home or not. And I actually saw that it said approved for parole. I couldn't even feel my body, man. Listen, I got out of there. I walked, it was in a building near the housing unit. So I'm walking out the building. It's a guard in the booth who's watching the walkway. He said, "You all right, man?" I said, "No." He said, "What's wrong?" I said, "Yo, I just made parole. They letting me go." He said, "Oh, that's great." Like, he rejoiced with me, man. That was like an awesome feeling. And like, it was so surreal, man. But until you get that final say, and even after that, like, they still got to approve the home plan, like where you're going to get released to. So it's still like up in the air a little bit, not as much, but until you get that actual release date, once everything's approved, you just a nervous wreck, man. But I'll never want to go through that again. I'm gonna miss the men in there, man. I met some good men in there, from serial killers who's finished killing, I should say, to guys in there that shouldn't even been in there, like for just minor stuff. But man, I'm gonna miss the men in there because I learned so much about people from being in prison, being around brothers and uncles and fathers and cousins, all the different personalities, man. Them guys in there are so full of life, so talented, so intelligent, man, so caring. Like, that's like that's your family, man. And I try and stay in touch with a lot of them, but I'm gonna miss them. Not the place itself, but them for sure. I'm so grateful my kids actually did remember me because I always stayed in contact with them. And I'm grateful that the people whose care they were under allowed me to remain in contact with them, because the news made me look like a monster, which I was at the time. What I did was horrible. So I'm just glad that my kids allowed me to continue to build a relationship with them and continue to get to know them and continue to share with them and watch them grow. And they was actually like listen to me and took my advice and stuff. So I was just blessed, man. They forgave me. I asked them for forgiveness in there. And even their mothers, man, they were awesome and just supportive and just encouraging the kids to stay in contact with me. So I had a great support system and a great family, man. Realizing that people aren't titles is what made me think differently about crime. Like, I was labeling dudes drug dealers, robbers, bad guys. But when I was in the county jail playing basketball with drug dealers and bad guys, the same guys that I would have been targeting, trying to rob, and I said, wait, man, these are real men. These guys got personalities and dreams and goals and families and futures. And I was willing to just not even acknowledge their humanity by placing a label on them. So that's what really made me think differently about crime, just the labels that society places on people versus who the actual person is. Like, I met some of the best guys I ever met inside of prison, man. And I said at that point, I never want to hurt another human being again. They're not labels. They're not drug dealers, robbers, gangbangers, and they're men. They're brothers, uncles, sons, fathers, cousins, neighbors. That changed me, man. That changed me. The same dudes I would have been in there trying to shoot at and take their stuff, or they would have shot me and killed me. I realized they were humans, man, just like me. It's nothing on this planet, off of this planet, that could ever make me revert back to my old way of life. Nothing. Number one, I would have to hurt somebody, and I'm done with that. Number two, I had to abandon my family and kids after abandoning my family and kids for 11 years and 3 months. Like, why would I do that to them again? Ain't nothing worth it. I learned patience in there. My whole thing, I just wanted money fast. I'm good. I got family. I got love. I got freedom. I ain't giving that up for nothing. Can't pay me. I'd rather sleep on this bench I'm sitting on broke and cold than commit a crime and go to prison, face that shame again, hurt my family all over again, hurt myself all over again. I'm good. I ain't going back. Life of crime is dead for me. The biggest change I noticed is that nobody really talk no more. Everything's quiet around you unless it's like an argument breaking out or something. Because everybody on their phone. Anywhere you go, they got their heads down. They just on the phone, not talking to the neighbor, not speaking to nobody in the streets. Like, it's quiet out here. Everybody, that's the biggest change I noticed. Everybody just in their own little virtual world. Even though you sitting there and somebody sitting here, y'all still isolated. It's weird to me a little bit. And then people rarely make eye contact because they into their phone. So if you speak to somebody, some of them look at you like you're crazy. Like, but that's the biggest difference, man. Biggest change I saw. I would tell my younger self, if I was able to give my younger self advice, I would say, man, just be patient and look at the humanity in people, because you ain't the only one with desires and goals and dreams. Treat people the way you want them to treat you, and don't take nothing for granted. That's what I would tell my younger self. Yeah, I'm working. I had a few jobs since I've been out, but I got something stable and permanent. I'm working for the city, man. It's a dream job. Like, who would ever thought I'll go from a felon to working for Philadelphia, the city of Philadelphia, with benefits, with a pension. Like, people respect me there. And when I'm out doing my job, people respect me out there. In prison, sometimes you get disrespected by the guards. So it's like a 180. Like, you go from being nothing in that society or in that community to being something out here. So, and when I was in there, I never thought or felt like I was nothing. I wouldn't accept that treatment. Like, they would try to make you think you're nothing, you're a number, you're this, you're that, inmate this, or ex-con or convict that. But I'm not defined by my circumstances. So I never felt like, oh, I'm nothing in prison. So I always did me. I didn't really stick to myself because I would talk to people and make relationships, make friendships and stuff, go to programs, but I just never let that, like, can't nobody tell me that I'm nobody. Like, I'm somebody. I made some bad choices, bad decisions. I hurt people, which is, I'll never do that again, but I'm somebody. I was somebody in there to myself, to my family. I'm somebody out here to myself, to my family, and now to the greater community, because I'm someone that the community can look up to, that they can respect now. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm going to help you. My old pastor used to say, if I can't help you, I ain't going to hurt you. So that's what I'm on. Like, if I can't help you, I'm definitely not going to hurt you. Yeah, I'm working on some things on social media. I got a workout page I do. It's Go Time 215. I'm on Instagram, on TikTok. My other page is Colin Patterson 215, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Just to, motivate people to get better, man. Whether it's a physical thing, a mental thing, or dealing with other people, or, just telling the people basically, man, just do something you got today. Don't give up. If it didn't work yesterday, so what? Let's go at it today. I always say it's go time, because the alternative is what? Death. Like while you alive, man, while you got breath in your lungs and movement in your limbs, make the best of a bad situation or make a good situation better, but just do something. You do something that's going to benefit you and benefit somebody else, man. It's go time. I always say that, and I live that, man. Let's go do something today. I'm already seeing success. I got repaired relationships. I got renewed relationships with family members. I'm working. I'm done with crime. I'm not out here hurting nobody. I'm supporting myself. I'm trying to take care of my kids the best I can, trying to help family when I can, help strangers when I can. That's success to me, man. I'm not out here hurting nobody. I'm trying to help people. And you can't go wrong like that.
Yeah, this one of them Jones. Road to redemption is just the beginning, the start of the mission, the journey to winning, the cycle is ending. I'm free, it feel like a dream. Pinch me, I gotta stay woke, survive my parole. Eyes on the goal, mode on go. My answer is no to your guns and your dope. That ain't looking out, that's my neck in the rope. Oh, hanging myself, that's playing myself. That ain't some love, that's hanging myself. Been too many years to forget how it felt.
Yeah, I'm out getting my car inspected right now, so it's a pass. I'll be done in about 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes. And I ain't riding dirty no more. It'll be a little stressful, especially navigating downtown and stuff, but getting it together. I passed, y'all. What? Hallelujah. Passed the inspection. I'm too legit to quit. I ain't riding dirty no more. I'm out of here in my newly inspected vehicle. So excited. Hallelujah. Yo, I passed my inspection. I ain't riding dirty. I'm so happy. Y'all don't understand the stress. I can park anywhere now. I ain't got to be scared. Man, all right.
Slander your name. I ain't a threat to community safe. Breaking the law, that ain't my aim. My foot on the gas, I stay in my lane. Ain't stopping for nothing. Success in my veins.